there is one structure that, if rebuilt, could change the world overnight. Not a weapon, not a new government, a temple. A place that stands at the very center of history, faith, and conflict. What is this third temple? Well, to understand the third, we have to look at the first two. The first temple was built by King Solomon. It was a marvel of the ancient world before it was destroyed by the Babylonians. Centuries later, the second temple rose in its place, only to be destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD. But according to biblical prophecy, the story isn't over. A third temple is expected, one that many believe is tied to the final chapter of history. So why does it matter so much? Because for three of the world's major religions, this single location is profoundly significant. In Jewish tradition, the third temple is linked to the coming of the Messianic age. In Christian belief, it's a key landmark in end-time prophecies, often involving a figure known as the Antichrist. And in Islamic belief, this same sacred ground, the Haram al-Sharif, houses the Dome of the Rock and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, two of Islam's holiest sites. One location, three faiths, all with deep prophetic and historical claims. And that brings us to the biggest obstacle, the location itself. The Temple Mount in Jerusalem is currently home to these holy Islamic structures. Any attempt to build a new temple there would almost certainly ignite a conflict of unimaginable scale, potentially pulling the entire world into its vortex. The Temple Mount is without a doubt the most sensitive piece of land on earth. Despite these massive risks, preparations are already underway. Believe it or not, dedicated groups in Israel have already created priestly garments, forged sacred temple vessels, and drafted detailed architectural plans. For them, these aren't just historical reenactments, they are tangible steps toward fulfilling a prophecy they have been waiting for. But this raises the great mystery. If prophecy requires the third temple, how could it ever be built without triggering a global war? Would it come from a historic peace agreement? Or a dramatic world-altering event that reshapes the entire board? No one knows for sure. This uncertainty has led to some fascinating theories. Some people suggest a future of shared religious access, or the Antichrist, that will convince all faiths to accept the construction. Others believe the temple might not be built on the exact spot we assume. And then there are those who argue the prophecy is entirely symbolic. It could be a spiritual renewal rather than a physical building. Whether literal or symbolic, the debate is intense. That is precisely why many call the third temple the ultimate prophetic trigger. And if its stones ever begin to rise, you can be sure the entire world will be watching. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more.